Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike McGrath. I'm the superintendent of the Lower Merion Police Department. I'd like to introduce some of the people in the audience here. We have our Township Manager, Ernie McNeely, our Assistant Township Manager, Jeff Smith. We also have our Township Secretary, Jody Kelly. And up in the front of the room, we have our Police Command, Captain Gene Pasternak, Lieutenant John Tucci, Lieutenant Peter Sharp, Lieutenant John String, and Lieutenant James Batinger. Captain Thomas would like to be here, but he is in transit to North Carolina, taking his daughter down there. She's recently moving to a new job. Also joining us today is our members of the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner and President of the Board, Dan Bernheim, expresses his regrets. He had a last-minute conflict, otherwise he would be here. We have Chair of the Police Committee, Commissioner Scott Zelov. We also have Commissioners Anna Durbin and Dave McComb joining us as well. I'd like to have Commissioner Zelov and Township Manager McNeely join us here in the Oval. So I'd like to welcome everybody today, especially families and friends of the newest officers being sworn into the police department today, as well as the two officers being promoted to the rank of sergeant. It's my honor to preside over this ceremony, where we'll be inducting 6 new probationary police officers and presenting them with their department badges, representing their newly attained positions in the patrol division in the police department. Our new officers are seated here in the front row, and they will be soon brought forward to be sworn in and receive their badges. They are Kaylin Kress, Joseph Kraus, Courtney McGowan, James Pacelli, Andrew Ruddisell, and Tanea White. We also have the added pleasure today of honoring 2 current members of the department, Ed Sarama and Matthew Dougherty, with the official presentation of their badges for the recently approved promotion to the rank of sergeant. And additionally, this is a hat trick today, we'll be presenting unit commendation to several detectives from the investigations unit for their dedicated work in bringing a crime spree to an end late last year. More on that shortly. So most in the room probably know this, but some of you may not. And that is that our recruitment process is quite competitive and selective. It began with the written examination in September 2020, when 147 people sat for the test. 99 applicants then moved on to the next level, which is the oral interview board, with 28 people successfully completing that phase. At the conclusion of the physical agility testing phase, 25 remained and were certified by the Civil Service Commission. These new officers' hiring places them in the top 4% of all those who participated in the process. Our new officers and their families should be very proud of their accomplishment. Go ahead, you can clap. We'll begin today's program by asking Commissioner and Chair of the Police Committee, Scott Zelov, to provide a few remarks.
Thank you, Superintendent McGrath. I'm Scott Zelov, and it's my privilege to serve as chair of the Commissioners' Police Committee. I want to welcome our candidates, our officers who are about to be promoted, all members of the police department, staff, and commissioners, and families of those who are being recognized today. We live in a township that has a wide variety of incomes. We live in a township that has many institutions and lots of business districts. We live in a township of about 60,000 people, in a township that has very high expectations. High expectations for policing, high expectations from commissioners, and high expectations for township services. This police department is well-trained and meets those expectations. and continually strives to do so. I know of the 6 of you, 3 of you have already received your Act 120 training, and 3 of you will be going to the police academy. But that's not the end of your training. There'll be lots of annual training. There'll be lots of training on many aspects of policing, and not the least of which, and probably at the top of the list, is impartial policing, something that is very important to this community and something that this police department does extremely well. As you heard from the superintendent, we have very high standards for our police department, for those we hire, and we expect to continue to have those high standards to meet the expectations of this community. It's a community, this police department cares about this community and serves it extremely well. So it is my honor to welcome you shortly, to which you will be receiving shortly your becoming members of the Lower Merion Police Department, and to Officers Edward Sarama and Matthew Dougherty, congratulations on your promotion. It's coming shortly to sergeant. The commissioners reviewed your background and your service, both of which is 9 years, and remarkably, both officers started on the same date, and we're very impressed. And welcome to the ranks of sergeant in the Lower Merion Police Department. And to the families, we're delighted that you're here to recognize and support your family members who are about to join the police department and about to be promoted within the police department. Congratulations to all.
And now I'd like Township Manager Ernie McNeely to step forward.
Thanks, Superintendent, and welcome everyone. As the superintendent said, you've been through an extensive process and are joining today one of the best police departments in the state of Pennsylvania and perhaps in the nation. One of the things I always want to do at these events where we get a chance to swear in new officers is to convey that you're not just joining the Lower Merion Police Department, you're joining a family of township employees of over 410 persons. You're joining that family, and we hope you will come to get to know all of us. We won't get to see you a whole lot because you work strange shifts compared to what the rest of us work, but never hesitate, please. You are joining a family of township employees, and you should feel like a part of that family, even though you work these strange shifts. You've been through the extensive process to get to this point today, and that process is extensive because we ask you to be wise beyond your years. We ask you to make split-second decisions. We ask you to keep us safe. And for that, you will have lots of training. As Commissioner Zelov said, you will have lots of support from the great officers of the Lower Merion Police Department. There's no doubt this is a difficult time to be a police officer. It's a difficult time to become a new police officer. Thanks to the actions of a few bad police officers across the country, it's a difficult environment right now. But there's never been a more important time for good people to become police officers and to show that the community, that you can be involved with them. You're there to support them and help them. I know that because you've gone through this task and because you've had the support of these police officers in the Lower Merion Police Department, that you'll be up to that task. So, again, I want to congratulate you on your hiring with the Lower Merion Police Department. Welcome you to the township, and wish you the best of luck. And please, feel free anytime if you need something to come see me, to come see our assistant township manager. You're part of a family now. I also want to congratulate our soon-to-be new sergeants. Officers, you've gone through an extensive process as well to get promoted. It's not easy to be promoted in the Lower Merion Police Department. Because we have a lot of fine officers that seek promotions, and therefore there's a lot of competition. But congratulations today on your successful promotions. thanks for the opportunity to welcome you all today, and again, welcome and congratulations.
Now, before we administer the oath of office to our officers, I'll ask the Judge, Michael Quinn, to provide a few remarks.
Thank you, Superintendent McGrath, and welcome candidates and family. I had a few minutes to spend earlier with you, and I'm convinced that Lower Merion is going to maintain its ranking as the best police department in the county. On behalf of my colleagues, Judge Shearson and Judge Zucker, I welcome you to the force. As I noted to you privately earlier, at least once a month I have the opportunity to serve the entire county. So we interact with every single department. And by far, Lower Merion is the best trained, the best organized, and the most competent in the county, in my view. And I think my colleagues share that. So, good luck to your new profession, and I'm confident that you're going to serve the township well and be safe. Thank you.
The 6 of you, come on up. I'm swearing in. Come on up. So now, come to the front. These guys will set you up. The judge will now administer the oath of office to our new officers.
I'll ask candidates to raise the right hand and left hand on the Bible. And repeat after me. This is a little shorter. So, I
James Maselli,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
that I will enforce the laws impartially
that I will enforce the laws impartially
without regard to race,
without regard to race,
creed, or color,
creed, or color,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
of Lower Merion and Narberth,
of Lower Merion and Narberth,
acting to the best of my ability.
acting to the best of my ability.
Congratulations and welcome.
Pictures now. There'll be more individual opportunities as well. Very good? Okay. Now we'll present our new officers with their badges. I will call each up individually in alphabetical order. And again, I'll note this is the time to take pictures. Make sure you get good ones of each one coming up. First, Kaylin Kress. Congratulations. There you go. Right here. Family members, you can come up too and take pictures as well. Don't feel embarrassed. Joseph Kraus. Courtney McGowan. James Pizzelli. Andrew Ruddisell. Tanea White. Well, this concludes our recruit badge ceremony. I ask that officers, family, friends remain seated. We're going to recognize now Edward Sarama and Matt Dougherty for the promotion and present them with their badges. So Ed, Matt, could you join us in the oval? So first, a brief summary of these officers' career. Now Sergeant Edward Sarama. Ed joined the Lower Merion Police Department in September 2012. He was assigned to the Operations Division as a patrol officer, where he also served as a field training officer and as a platoon investigator. He was assigned to the Investigations Unit in October of 2017, where he has served up until his promotion. He's an active member in the department's emergency response team since 2018. Ed has received 2 unit commendations and 4 citizens' letter of appreciation. Celebrating with him today are his mother, Doreen, mother-in-law, Eleanor, his wife, Amanda, and son, Eddie. Sergeant Matthew Dougherty. Matt joined the police department also in September 2012, as previously noted. He was assigned to the Operations Division as a patrol officer and has also served as a field training officer and platoon investigator. Matt has received 2 commendations, 7 citizens' letters of appreciation. He was Officer of the Quarter in 2014, 2016, 2019, and amazingly, and quite to his credit, Officer of the Year in 2019. That's for the entire police department. Celebrating with Matt today are his parents, Patty and John. John, retired captain from the Lower Merion Police Department, and his girlfriend, Kirsten. Welcome. Also, I want to note that as we said before, the president of the board wanted to be here and was going to make comments. And he sent me an email about 7 o'clock this morning saying, I told him I would pass it along. It was my intention to attend the swearing in today. However, it was not the intention of a judge in Minnesota. He's an attorney. So it ended up with a conflict. Case I had yesterday spilled over into today. In my capacity as president of the board, I wanted to express our appreciation, acknowledgement of clearly 2 fine officers. When their background and qualifications were presented to the board, it resonated with all of us that this was the type of service that we think of when we as commissioners have the opportunity to boast that the Lower Merion Police Department has one of the finest departments. In today's world, it is nice to have the opportunity to express gratitude for such exemplary service. I'm sorry that I'll miss it today, but I have no doubt that collectively you will acknowledge the community's appreciation of past and future service. That's from President Bernheim. Okay, now we're going to present the badges, and I believe we're going to have some family members pinning them on, so come on forward. You gonna let Eddie do it? You better hold on to him, man. Grab a seat, guys. Thank you. And this concludes the badge ceremony for promotions. As I noted earlier, we also have accommodations to pass out. And I'd like the following officers to join us in the front of the room. Detective Bill Lane, Gregory Pitchford, Joseph Hunsaker, Ed Saram, will you join us back again up here? David Herbst, and John Kuvik. Other detectives who are also acknowledged in this commendation but are unable to attend today for a variety of reasons are David Auxter, Randall Hobbs, Bryn Gardner, Brian Layton, and John Mick. The reason these officers, detectives are receiving this commendation are for the following. On the night of November 4th, 2020, a lone woman entered an elevator in the Royal Athena apartment complex in Bala Cynwyd. She was soon confronted by a masked man who pulled out a roll of duct tape and pressed a handgun into her back. The assailant then said to her, "You know what this is." Luckily, the elevator doors opened, and with other people coming in, the victim was able to escape. In the weeks that followed, 2 more attacks occurred in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. In one of these incidents, a man pistol whipped a woman in the head and tried to get her into the trunk of his car. Then Detective Edward Sarama, who was leading the Lower Merion investigation, quickly recognized similarities among these cases. As the violent actions of the assailant were drastically escalating, time was of the essence to apprehend him. A task force was launched with investigators from both jurisdictions, and a suspect was quickly developed. Surveillance of the man ensued with developed critical information that would lead to his arrest. Evidence of all 3 attacks, including a .40 caliber handgun, was recovered. Post-arrest cell phone mapping put the suspect at the scene of all 3 crimes, and he was charged with robbery, attempted kidnapping, and related offenses. The officers standing here were all critical in the arrest of this individual. The teamwork and actions of the investigators involved exemplified their professionalism and dedication to service. This arrest ended a horrific crime spree, which was sure to end with dire consequences. The Lower Merion Police Department proudly honors these detectives with a unit commendation. Guys, why don't you line up right here for the cameras? David? Greg? Go ahead, Jim, get in there. Another hand. Thank you all. This concludes our ceremony today. In a few minutes, I would ask families and friends to come down to the front lobby and the front steps of the Township building. We'll be taking pictures with our new officers. Thank you once again.